with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Welcome to February 2015. Let's get creative. My project this month is Pick a Card, Pick a Greeting. It's really a fabulous little gift box. This is actually part 2 of the video series because I'm going to teach you how to create the box on the first video. And then on the inside, let me show you this. And you can see we have all these different cards. And I'm going to share with you how to create these, but I want to show you, let me get past it. I'm also going to share with you in this video how to create 2 really amazing envelopes. We're going to stamp on one, and I don't know if you can see it there. We're going to emboss on another. So even our envelopes are going to be fantastic because that's a must. And you can see I've got all these really great sentiments. They're all a little bit different. And I'm just going to show you how this works. You're going to have your cards. Whoops, that's an envelope. You're going to have your cards. And the recipient can just choose. You see there's some dimensionals on the back. They just get to choose which sentiments they want on which card. So it allows the recipient to get a little creative too. So let's get going with how to create the cards for our project. So we're going to let designer series paper kind of do some of the work for us on our cards. I'm using the Something Borrowed designer series paper. This one in particular comes with 4 sheets, 3 of each pattern, if you will. But of course, keep in mind there's a different pattern on the other side. That's what's going to give us 12 cards, 3 sheets, the way we're going to cut it. So let's go ahead and get to cutting so we can see how to work with our designer series paper. All right, so I've got my designer series paper. It's 12 by 12. If you will cut it down to 5.5 inches, we're going to take the next sheet and cut it down to 5.5 inches. That's going to leave us this little strip of 1 inch. This one here, if you will cut it down to 4.5 and 3.5. Now you only need to do this to 1 strip, by the way, because we're going to use this on our cover. Because you can see we can kind of use that designer series paper. We're going to make the little flags. But you're going to have a lot of these strips because remember we're doing this to all 3 sheets of our designer series paper. So you're going to have a lot of choices there. And when we design this, you're only going to be using 1 sheet of this designer series paper. While you're at it, why not go ahead and cut everything? You can make 2 of these boxes. Keep 1 for yourself. Always have 1 on hand for a friend, but you've always got a maid. So just letting you know, you're really only going to need 1, but it's going to cut 2. And hey, might as well make 2. So, all right, we've got that done. Let me set this piece off to the side and I'll show you how we're going to cut this. 5.5, we're now going to use the 12-inch side up here and you're going to cut it down to 4 inches and 4 inches and 2 inches. We're now going to take those 4-inch pieces, the 4 by 5.5, and if you will cut them down to 4 1/4. And now we have, let me move this out of the way. We're going to have 1 piece for 1 card, another one, another design, and same here. We're going to be able to mix and match these. Now you're going to repeat this with your other designer series paper, so you're going to end up with 12 pieces when it's all said and done. Well, we're going to work very quickly with the 2 by 5.5 inch pieces. I'm going to bring in my scallop edge border. I'm going to put these 2 pieces together. It really kind of makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to line it up. I don't know if you can see it there, but inside your punch you have a couple little tick marks. We're going to line up the edge of this with that tick mark. Makes it very easy. And you can really punch through 2 of these at the same time. Again, save you a little time, might as well. You're going to repeat that with all of the 2-inch strips that you have. All right, so you've got 6 card bases here, and I've got those going in 2 different directions. I have a 4 1/4 by 11, and I have an 8.5 by 5.5. I've just got these scored, so simple cards. Let me move these out of the way, and I'll kind of show you what we're going to do with these now. So we've got all these great pieces cut. Remember, you have them cut in everything. We want to be sure to use the opposite side. So as you're working, make sure your pieces are laid out in the way that you want to work. So I'm going to start with this one here. I can adhere this onto the side like this. I can flip it around and have it go this direction. Because this card opens this way, I could use it as a border at the bottom or at the top. So you can see a lot of variety going on here. These pieces here are just going to adhere into the center of your card. So once you have all that done, and if you're unsure about the direction of some of these, if you'll look at the written tutorial, I have pictures of all of my cards, all 12 cards, so that you can see them. It's just an idea. You feel free to get creative, come up with designs that you like, but that'll give you a place to work off of. All right, let's do the stamping that we need for those flowers. I'm going to be using So Saffron, Pool Party, and Blushing Bride. I've got that fabulous flower that comes in that set, and we're going to stamp it 4 times down this piece of cardstock. I'm not going to do all of that for you, but we are then going to come in with the medallion punch, and we're going to punch these out. So yes, and let me rephrase, not the medallion punch, the flower medallion punch. And so we're just going to punch all of these out. We're going to do, as I said, we're going to do 4 in Blushing Bride, 4 in Pool Party, and 4 in So Saffron. Once you have all of those flowers punched out, you can see I just came along and put 4 Stampin' Dimensionals on every single flower. So you're going to do that to all 12. We're now going to come in with a piece of crumb cake cardstock and the decorative label punch. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to punch out 12 different decorative labels. All right, you can see how I was able to cut all my decorative labels out. I even had a little bit of extra there. I just kind of cut it out. I just went along in a circle. So that's trash. We can get rid of that. All right, we've got our cards. We've got our decorative labels. Now you can have a little bit of fun. Okay, I'm just going to set one of these on each one of my cards. You know, you also had 4 pieces that were 2.5 by 2.5. And for that one, we can just add a little bit of different dimension there. So let's say for this one, you notice I haven't pulled the backing off those dimensionals because I want to have the opportunity to play. So why don't we take a Blushing Bride right there? So I kind of like that. Again, I don't want to adhere anything down until I've kind of laid them all out because, you know, you might want to switch up colors and you might like the Blushing Bride with the more solid background. And so you can really just kind of have a good time deciding how you want to play with those. When you're done and when you're ready, you're going to adhere down the decorative label just with snail, by the way, and then adhere with those Stampin' Dimensionals. You can adhere your flower down. Now with these here, I really had a good time, and I know in the video you probably can't even see that that is there, but once we add our sentiment, that is really going to pop. So you can see I think that's a really great layout. I can turn it this way and put my sentiment here, and maybe my flower down there. I've got a really great layout. This one, I took this other direction. I can put my sentiment there, my flower there. Or it can be a border up at the top, flower there, sentiment there. So you're going to have some fun. You're going to be able to do a lot of different things. So just, again, don't press down, don't remove the backing from your flowers until you're sure you're happy with the cards and you've got everything laid out, okay? All right, now let's work on the sentiments. You've got a 4¼ by 11-inch piece of Whisper White. I'm going to come in with the scallop oval punch. And we're just going to punch out as many scallop ovals as we can get out of this. I'm hoping for about 18, but if I get, you know, 16 or so, you're probably going, Connie, there's only 12 cards. I understand that, but I want the recipient to have a lot of different options. Okay, now we get to have some fun with this stamp set. We've got a lot of different options, a lot of different ways we can piece these different sentiments together. In the written tutorial, I have a list for you. I don't even know if I got all of them. Those are just all the ones that I could come up with. You're probably going to see that list and go, but why didn't you use the From All of Us or For Being You? Well, the problem was it was not going to fit into my scallop oval. So I really focused on these shorter words, if you know what I mean. So let me show you a couple tricks that I've learned. When I go to line these up on the block, what I found worked best is to lay them down flat side up, you know, so it can go on my block. And so this is a thanks so much but that's going to allow me to kind of line it up. Now, when we take that block, we're just right. Helpful hint. We're going to use crumb cake ink. I highly recommend before you stamp it onto your scallop oval that you check it and make sure it's centered. I think my thanks can actually come over just a hair more. So let me check it one more time. Hey, now that I like. All right, so in crumb cake ink, I'm using the photopolymer so I can see right through, and there's my thanks so much. Another tip I want to give you, for instance, this one, I want it to say love you. But I don't want them to be, I want to kind of spread out. Those are two very short words. So I'm going to kind of spread them out like so. Press my block on. Check it. Love you. My U is not going the direction I want it to, so let's try it one more time. Again, I always want to check. It doesn't cost me anything to check. So bringing in a scallop oval, and I have a love you. Now, with that same concept, let's say you wanted to do it a little bit at an angle, like so. Just something really fun. You can do that too with photopolymer. So you're going to go through the list. You're going to decide which sentiments you want to do. You might even consider doing a couple extra thanks so much, a couple extra happy birthdays, because you know those are going to be the most popular ones. But you know, things like miss you or baby love or you know, hello sunshine, maybe those you just need one of. So kind of think about that as you're putting together your sentiments. When you have them all done and ready, we are going to take Stampin' Dimensionals and put 2 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Do not remove the backing from those Stampin' Dimensionals. Now let's go and decorate some envelopes. I decided to use the crumb cake envelopes because they matched my card so nicely. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use and I just lost the name. This is a brand new embossing folder and the name just escaped me. I'll put it there on the screen for you. But I want to emboss the flap of this envelope. And so all I'm going to do is just take it, put it inside, just like that. We're going to run that through the Big Shot so we get a beautiful embossed envelope. Check it out. Can you see that in the video? So we've got a really great embossing. It's going to be fine for mailing. We've got all this here. But ooh, how pretty when the recipient gets that and has that nice little embossed image. Now, how about we do a little stamping? I've got another envelope, and this one I'm going to stamp on it. I'm using the I Love Lace, but there's another stamp that is in the Occasions catalog that I highly recommend. I believe it's called Something Lacy. It's going to remind you of this one, so either one that you have is going to work great. Helpful little tip, we're going to take some copy paper, slide that down so that all we're going to stamp on is the flap of the envelope. So I'm going to take my crumb cake ink and my stamp. But what I like to do is lay this at an angle, making sure I'm straight. Let me bring it over. There, I've got it. And we give that a nice press. You're going to love this. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? But we've got this gorgeous stamped envelope now. So we can do that. 6 of them stamped, 6 of them embossed. Gives us a lot of great variety. Well, guys, I've got all my cards made. I had a great time creating, seeing what different directions I could go with those. I've got all my fabulous little sentiments, my stamped and embossed envelopes. I've got the envelopes at the bottom, the cards at the top. We're going to close that up. Look at that. Everything all nice tucked away. And so for your recipient, we've got a pretty little bow. What do you think? Isn't that fantastic? There you have it. I mean, are those cards fast and easy or what? But I'm telling you, this all put together is going to make a fantastic gift. And with all that extra designer series paper that comes in the pack, I mean, goodness, what does it come to? I think you can make like 6 sets of these. Well, you could get that done in an afternoon. So there you go. Carve some time out, some creative time for yourself this week and get some of these gifts made, have them ready in advance. And you know what? It's just sharing what we love, which we love to give our hand-stamped art. So I hope you have some time to do that this week. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of Let's Get Creative. Thank you again for using your hostess code. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. Have a terrific February, and I hope to see you back here in March.